Yo, what's up guys, Surgical Golden here, welcome to this new episode. In today's video, we're going to be watching the grand final of this month's serial finals. We have Adriel against Pedro. It's going to be a best of 5 duels format. See you guys soon with game number 1. Okay guys, game number 1, Pedro against Adriel. I actually missed a little bit as well. I'm live right now while recording, so I was talking a little bit to the chat. And as I just mentioned in the intro, it's a best of 5 duel format. So basically what duel format means for those who are not familiar with it, it's a format where if you use a card, you cannot repeat one of those cards in the upcoming matches. Like for example, let's say now Pedro has used arrows for the remaining 5 matches, well 4 matches, could go into a total of 5 matches. He cannot use any arrows anymore, he cannot use any of the cards he played. Same thing for Adriel, now he cannot for the remaining matches use the Spirit Impress anymore. And this meta right now has been kind of toxic. Even the best players in the world are using kind of no-skill decks sometimes. We've seen quite some Goblin Giant, we've seen quite some Evil Furnace decks dominating the meta right now. And this is the finals. Just to give you guys some context, who advanced from where. Adriel is undefeated so far, so Adriel came from the upper bracket to where Pedro is now on an insane loser bracket run. So Pedro basically just dropped to the loser bracket game or day number 1, losing his first game against Lucas, to where Adriel hasn't lost a single duel yet. But since Pedro went to the loser bracket, he had to beat so many opponents. He beat people like Curry, OP Sam, I don't even remember who he beat. He beat Viper, he beat so many good players. He is on a 5 win streak right now in the grand final against Adriel. So let's see if he can keep up the win streak from the lower bracket, or is Adriel actually gonna go undefeated this month and beat Pedro here as well. Okay, so both players are trying to get something going here. Right side is gonna get taken care of with the Goblin Machine with the Evil Lumberjack. Left side Bedrock is gonna get a big hit though. Pedro is actually gonna get a big connection there. Spirit Empress ground version is gonna be forced out defensively with the Goblin Curse. And this is looking very good for Pedro. And I'm telling you guys, Pedro is locked in right now. Crazy thing about this finals is that if Pedro beats Adriel in the first best of 5, Adriel has an extra life because he came from the upper bracket. So basically Pedro has to beat him in 2 best of 5s in order to actually win the golden ticket, win the final. So this is about to be crazy, guys. I wonder if Pedro can actually beat him twice, or if Adriel is just gonna straight up dominate this finals and not lose a single match. Golden Knight left side is not gonna get a dash, is gonna get blocked by the Goblin Machine. Spirit Impress has been so popular, by the way. I've seen so many people use the Spirit Impress in these monthly finals, and in the meantime Adriel is trying to hold on, trying to stay alive. Good double lane pressure though. Look at the right side, guys. Lumberjack is getting onto the tower. Spirit Impress is locking onto the tower. Look at the left side as well. Spirit Impress just got so much damage, forcing out a last second Electro Wizard from Pedro, bringing down the tower all the way to 585 HP. And this is all of a sudden looking insanely well for Adriel. The only scary part about this matchup is that Pedro does have the P.E.K.K.A. and one-on-one P.E.K.K.A. against the Goblin Giant is very strong. So Adriel needs to be very careful when to and how to use his ground units. Look at this defense though. Look at this attack, I should say. He's gonna try and defend this the best way possible. Lumberjack evolution is not gonna quite make it to the tower. Right side is gonna get a little bit of chip damage with the Royal Hawk. Lumberjack is there to defend in the last second. It seems like Pedro's actually in a very good spot, Psycho and offensive wise, and Adriel so far has been able to defend, is in a damage lead right now, but I feel like Pedro's doing such a good job at pressuring. And look at the right side, guys. This is gonna be a think tower down. Look at the veteran with the rage spell. He's gonna get so much damage. All he needs to do right here is get one Royal Hawk hit, or just cycle back to arrows, and I think he's gonna be back to arrows pretty soon. I think, is he 1 card away from arrows? I think now he has the arrows back in cycle, and there you go. He does have the arrows. Pedro does take game number 1. This is about to be crazy, guys. See you guys soon with game number 2. Okay, guys, game number 2 starting right now. Pedro with the Evil Wizard, Electro Spirit on the top of your screen. Probably gonna be a Royal Giant deck against Adriel's Skeleton Barrel Cannon card deck, which is probably gonna be a Mortar deck. We have been seeing quite some, how do you say that, like similar decks in the finals, in the competitive play. Like many people are kind of not necessarily using the same deck over and over, but I do kind of see a pattern. Meta decks, I guess we can say, of decks and of cards in general being used quite a bit. I do remind you guys that it's a dual format, so none of these guys can repeat cards, and sometimes the decks are a little bit adapted, are a little bit different than usual. Like, for example, before, not in these duels, but just to give you guys an example, before we saw a Hawk Rider deck with a Barbell, which on ladder you would almost never see. In competitive play, it is possible because of the duel format. So, Pedro using a pretty typical, pretty standard Royal Giant Quick Cycle deck. He can still use the lock, he can still use the Barbell, he can still have a lot of different options as spells right here, especially because in game number 1 he only used the arrows, and looks like he's actually using the Rage spell. So that is a really interesting card, but once again, I'm telling you guys, it is the duel format, so I'm not even surprised right now, because he's probably trying to keep his lock, he's probably trying to keep his Barbell for future matches and different decks in the remaining matches of this best of 5. So Adriel using a more of a typical mortar type of deck. Last card here could definitely be a Fireball if I would have to take a guess. And then he already showed his entire deck, and Pedro already showed his entire deck already as well, without any surprises remaining. So interesting that Adriel's not using the Skeleton King. Normally this type of mortar deck always runs the Skeleton King. Now he's actually using a mortar deck without the Skeleton King. He's gonna try and support the cannon card here with guards. Looks like Pedro is gonna clean up the push pretty well. Still gonna lose his Fisherman while doing so, but the most important support card is gonna stay alive. Are we gonna see a Royal Giant left side lane here? I would not be surprised if we do. And there you go, he is gonna go with a Royal Giant. Probably gonna see a Rage spell here to support this as well. Or what is he gonna drop? Looks like instead he's gonna go with a Fireball. Now he goes with the Rage spell. Wizard is going crazy, and Royal Giant is actually locked into the tower, guys. Gets a double connection there with the Rage spell, getting a lot of damage, and puts Pedro in the damage lead. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't really have a favorite, even though Adriel is kind of my friend. I feel like if Pedro wins this, that would just be insane. Like, dropping to the loser bracket in day number 1, to then going on a 5-win streak to make it to the grand finals, and he needs to beat Adriel twice, by the way, to get the golden ticket, to be the next player qualified to the world finals. Like, that would just be history. That would just be absolutely insane. The matchup here doesn't even seem that bad for Adriel. The only problem I see is that he doesn't have an actual solid tank. So the Wizard push plus the Monk plus the Royal Giant is gonna be kind of awkward for him to deal with. And the Monk being able to reflect on top of the Dark Hole, on top of the cannon card, is also gonna be kind of problematic for him here. Okay, guards are gonna get dropped. Probably gonna see an early Monk ability even before crossing the bridge. There you go. Monk is gonna pop the ability. Look at the right side though, guys. That is a lot of damage with the Skelly Barrel. Cannon card is also gonna take care of the Wizard, and this is all of a sudden not even looking that bad anymore for Adriel. If he can keep out the pressure, especially going opposite lane, that will be very good for him. Like, Pedro wants to cycle same lane with the Monk, wants to cycle same lane with the Wizard. Early Fireball not gonna get reflected, but the Mortar shot is gonna get reflected, and that is the problem, guys. How is Adriel gonna deal with those Monk plus Wizard pushes without having a Skeleton King, without having a Knight, without having a solid tank? You're never gonna use your cannon card on top of it, and I also wouldn't consider it an actual tank. And note how Adriel's always trying to switch lanes against the Wizard, never giving him that really big value, or at least he's trying to prevent him from giving a lot of value. Okay, cannon card Dark Goblin on the right side is gonna get Fireball. Guards here on the left side to try and protect the cannon card as much as possible, but another Wizard is being cycled, and I feel like now in Triple Elixir, this is looking worse and worse for Adriel. Unless he can somehow sneak through, somehow get like a Skeleton Barrel connection, or I don't know what he needs to break through, but this is definitely not looking good, guys. Evil Mortar is gonna try and get something going. He does get a Skeleton Barrel left side, but I think it's a little bit too late right now. Only 16 seconds remaining in this match, and damage-wise, Pedro's looking really good, unless something crazy happens here in the last 10 seconds, but Evil Wizard is gonna get a lot of value. Look at the beautiful usage of the Evil Wizard shield right on top of all the troops. The troops go down to the explosion, and that is gonna be game number 2 for Pedro. Guys, are we about to witness Clash Royale history? Okay, guys, hopping into game number 3, and this is actually crazy because Adriel hasn't lost a single duel yet, and he's actually down 2-0 already against Pedro. He is so far on fire today. Like, I don't even know what to say right now. I'm kind of speechless by the performance of Pedro so far, because the fact that he was in the loser bracket already kind of puts you in a bad spot. You, of course, always have pressure, because if you lose, you're out. And so far, as I mentioned before, he's been on a 5-0 win streak throughout the loser bracket, to now pretty much being 1 win away from a bracket reset. I do remind you guys that it's a bracket where the winner bracket, like the winner, how do you say that, like the finalist from the winner bracket does have an extra life. So even if Pedro wins the next match, He's not gonna be the golden ticket winner yet, but we're gonna actually hop into another best of 5 to where everyone is 0-0 again. You can use the same cards, you can use anything you want. It's just like as if you're playing a new best of 5 again. But if Adriel does somehow make the reverse sweep here, then he would actually be the golden ticket winner because he came from the winner bracket. I think everyone kind of understands, but at the same time it's a little bit confusing, so I do want to make sure that everyone is aware of the situation and is not gonna comment like, yo, what a scam, Pedro won, but he's still not the golden ticket winner. It's because he came from the loser bracket. So Pedro, definitely an insane Psycho player. He's also gonna be using minor poison, or at least a minor Psycho deck. Could still be poison because he didn't use poison in game number 1 or game number 2. Game number 1 he used P.E.K.K.A. arrows, game number 2 he used Royal Giant Fireball plus Rage. He still has a lot of different spells and a lot of different options available, to where Adriel used this Goblin Giant deck and he used this Mortar deck. So both players still have Lock available. Pedro decides to use Lock here. Adriel's actually keeping on to his Lock for now for, I guess, a Psycho deck if he does end up beating Pedro in this match. But both players are actually using a type of minor rocket, but in this case Adriel is Goblin Joe rocket, so both players are using Psycho rocket deck. Who is gonna win the rocket battle though? Goblin Jill or Miner? Nice try right there with the snowball. Pedro is gonna have to hold on a little bit, take a little bit of damage, and then just lock the Goblin Jill. And this is gonna be the battle of the rockets, guys. I mean, the Miner overall should maybe get a little bit of more chip damage than the Goblin Jill, but I feel like Adriel is ahead because now he once again has the rocket available. He is gonna go for the rocket. Goblin Jill here might get a little bit of chip damage. Looks like it is not gonna get chip damage, but still so much damage between the snowball, between the rocket, between the Goblin Jill damage itself. Doesn't seem like a lot, but slowly but surely is gonna add on to the damage right here, and Adriel's gonna do the same exact thing. I wonder why Adriel's not using his champion. I feel like he should maybe cycle Skeleton King in the back towards the left side lane here, because this way he's gonna activate the 3-card cycle and he's gonna have an advantage while cycling quicker. So if I were Adriel, I would probably use a Skeleton King towards the left side. He's actually gonna use it here finally, but onto the right side lane, and I think here he's gonna be able to cycle rockets like crazy, guys. We're gonna see a 3-card cycle very quickly. He is gonna go for the Goblin Joe rocket here offensively, snowball offensively as well. Goblin Joe gets onto the tower, and I think Adriel, Adriel's definitely gonna have the victory here. He has the Skeleton King on the field. He's gonna have the rocket in cycle again, and there you go. We have the rocket coming towards the left side lane. Guys, is Adriel gonna reverse sweep? What is happening in this finals? Crazy final so far. See you guys soon with the next match. Okay, guys, before hopping into game number 4, this is how it looks. By the way, both players are just sitting, preparing, thinking about the decks, because of course they cannot repeat any cards, but the opponent can also not repeat any cards. So there's a lot of thought process, a lot of strategies going into these matches. See you guys, and right as I say so, hopping into game number 4. So perfect timing right here. Let's see what both players decide to use. Here you can see a little bit of the Adriel decks right now. I'm covering Pedro's deck, but I'm gonna name them for you guys. Deck number 1 was P.E.K.K.A. Bridge Spam with Mother Witch arrows. Game number 2 was Royal Giant Fireball Cycle with Rage. Game number 3 was Minor Cycle with the rocket, with the lock, and with the delivery. So Adriel's finally gonna be using lock, which seems to actually be a Royal Giant deck, I think. I'm not sure, but Electro Wizard lock. Fisherman, this has to be Royal Giant from Adriel, which is actually one of his, I would say, stronger, more popular type of decks. And Pedro seems to be using a Bridge Spam type of deck. And generally speaking, Royal Giant, I would say, does really well against Bridge Spam. So, guys, is Adriel actually gonna reverse sweep this? If Pedro wins one more match, either this match or the next match, he's gonna do a bracket reset, and that means that they're gonna play another best of 5. If Adriel wins this match and the next match, he's gonna be the golden ticket winner. So Adriel actually has a Heal Spirit, he has Monk in there as well. Definitely an interesting Royal Giant version. I repeat that it's dual, so that is why you see cards which maybe normally you wouldn't see a Royal Giant deck. Normally Electro Spirit is very popular, but he actually decided to use Heal Spirit right here. So last 2 cards, for sure one of them is the Royal Giant Evolution. Other card should probably be, I mean, he doesn't have Fireball. I would say it's probably gonna be Lightning if I would have to take a guess. Maybe some people sometimes use something like an Earthquake, but probably Lightning is actually gonna be the best option right here. So Monk is gonna tank, Monk is gonna pop its ability, gonna reflect on top of the cannon card. Boss Planet with a Goblin Curse plus an Evil Zap right there. That's actually looking scary, guys. Heal Spirit plus Lock. Very nice reaction, very nice defense. Right on time from Adriel. And I'm telling you guys, these players are insane. We are watching the best of the best right now. I'm super excited. Let's see what is going to happen next. Barbell seems to get a single connection on the right side tower. Still quite some damage. Does Adriel have the lightning? Is he going to use it? What is his last two cards, guys? I mean, one of them for sure, I would bet anything, is a Royal Giant. What is his spell going to be, though? That is actually the question right here. If he has a lightning, lightning is going to be helpful in this matchup. If he has... I don't know what he's going to have, though, guys. It's going to be a question mark for now. Okay, Lock plus Heal Spirit right side is going to take care of the cannon card. Goblin Curse here on defense to try and help defend against the Furnace. Nice zap right there. Beautiful timing, turning those Fire Spirits from the Evil Furnace into Goblins. And so far, Pedro has actually been playing the super well, and it is indeed going to be a Lightning, guys. Okay, so Lightning last card for Adriel, which is actually going to put him in the damage lead already. Note how none of these guys have played their win condition yet. All of them have cycled their evolutions. Both of them have cycled all of them cards besides the win condition, which is actually very interesting because both of them not playing their win condition yet. Also not going to get a lot of damage, but look at that. First win condition is going to be Pedro with the Ram Rider, but it's going to be into the Electro Wizard, which I'm actually not a big fan of. He does need to be careful with the right side push though, because Adriel actually doesn't have a lot of elixir right now, guys. Lock on defense, he is in the middle. Note how he placed the Heal Spirit in the middle to where both towers were going to hit it a little bit. Like those type of different placed, okay, a little bit of lag right there. Those type of different positions, I would say, always make like a couple of differences between taking a lot of damage, not a lot of damage, or sometimes even flawless defenses. So far looking very good, guys. Adriel and Pedro are pretty much equal on damage right now. I wouldn't even say that anyone has a big advantage. What I like about Adriel is the fact that he's playing this so patient. Like, realistically, Pedro's deck struggles against defending Royal Giant, but he also knows that if he goes into his push, into his lane with like the Boss Bandit, with like the cannon card, with like all the troops he has, that he's gonna give him a really good counter push. So note how he waited for triple elixir with the Royal Giant, playing it as safe as possible. He knows there's a lot of money, a lot of pressure on the line right now. And just like that, with the Royal Giant Lightning, he's gonna get a ton of damage. Right side tower also took a ton of damage right there. And I think unless something crazy happens here in the last 30 seconds, this is gonna be Pedro's game. Or no, excuse me, Adriel's game to win. And Pedro's actually gonna lose it right here, going into a game number 5, which is gonna be insane, guys, because it's a duel format. Like, what cards, what decks are they gonna use? Like, they're not gonna even have a lot of options anymore. So yeah, definitely a really solid matchup, really solid defense right there from Adriel. He could even lightning the tower if necessary, but damage wise, anyways, he was already in a huge damage advantage. And this might actually be a reverse sweep. 2-2 right now. This is actually gonna be a deciding match. If Adriel wins, he's gonna be the golden ticket winner. If Pedro wins, he's gonna reset the entire bracket. Okay, guys, hopping into the potential last match of today's video of the Serial Monthly Final. If Pedro loses, he's actually gonna get reverse sweep by Adriel, and that means that Adriel is gonna be the golden ticket winner this monthly final. If Pedro wins, then there's actually gonna be another best of 5, which would be a really long video, but at this point I don't really mind anymore. I'm super excited to be here. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this competitive gameplay so far. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. While streaming right now, by the way, while recording this, while I'm streaming, we hit 140k subscribers, so thank you guys so much for all the support. You guys are the best. Okay, what is Pedro using? Looks like he's gonna be using some kind of pressure cycle type of deck, while Adriel's more using a beatdown type of deck. He's actually running the Golden Knight with the Evil Witch. Very interesting deck so far. I remind you guys once again, I'm sorry if it's getting annoying, but it's a duel format, so none of these guys could repeat any of the cards they used in game 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's a total amount of 32 cards, which are not available for any of these players. And some of the cards are like so important in your day-to-day Clash Royale decks, like Arrows, Fireball, Lock, Barbell, Zap. I don't know, like this is actually crazy. Okay, Adriel does also have Valkyrie. Wow, so he has Valkyrie with Giant, which is definitely a Goblin Duel snipe, but at the same time, he doesn't have a reset for the Mighty Miner. He cannot kill the Spirit Empress, and he already took so much damage to the point where his left side tower is down to 1830 HP. He doesn't seem to have any good answers against the wall breakers as well, so this mini wall breaker from the wall breaker evolution is once again gonna get some chip damage, and Pedro's doing a crazy job at pressuring, at cycling, at getting damage so far. Huge damage for Pedro. Does he have a big spell though, guys? He doesn't have the rocket available. He does have the poison available, which I think the last card should be poison right here. And then Adriel's also using poison, but that was a strange, in my opinion, giant, because the witch is actually going in front right now. He's going into the giant lane though. Witch is gonna stay alive, guys. Mega Man is staying alive. Giant is tanking. Wait, this is actually looking like a crazy counter push, no? He's gonna have a double lane push, maybe. Never mind. He only has the witch on the right side. Maybe there was a misclick. I for one second thought that he was gonna try and get a giant going right side lane here as well. Witch is gonna stay alive. The evil witch is gonna stay alive. Is gonna take care of the Spirit Empress. I don't know what to say about the situation, about the matchup. I feel like Pedro definitely has a really good spot to be in. But the fact that the evil witch could create some crazy scenario where it doesn't die to the evil poison, or to the poison, like the evil witch doesn't die to the poison, could be kind of scary for Pedro here as well. So let's see what's gonna happen next, guys. There's still a lot of time in this match. 1 minute, 50 seconds left, but we are already in overtime. Is he gonna pop the Golden Knight ability? Is he gonna try and get something going here? He might try and do that right now. There you go. There's the Golden Knight. And it's gonna get a crazy dash, guys. Oh my god, the arrows here as well. Is that gonna be game? That might be game, guys. Look at the skeletons looking onto the tower, getting so much damage, and Adriel is getting closer and closer to the insane reverse sweep. 877 HP left on Pedro's left side tower. If Adriel keeps it up like this, like he's been doing, he's in a very good spot right now. He does need to be careful with the wall breakers though. He has the evil Valkyrie, but the evil Valkyrie gets... What is happening, guys? What is happening right now? I don't even know what is going on. Evil Valkyrie gets taken away by the evil Snowball, allowing the evil wall breakers to get a connection, but the Golden Knight is tanking right now for the miner. Pedro needs to cycle the poison. What is going to be quicker? I mean, Pedro's poison for sure is going to take the tower before the miner. And we are actually going to see a bracket reset, guys. We're now going to have to go into another best of 5. Same players, but starting from 0-0. Okay, guys, second best of 5 starting. And now whoever wins, doesn't matter if it's Adriel or Pedro, it's going to be the golden ticket winner. And it's crazy, guys. Like, how did Pedro just go from beating game number 1, like winning game number 1 and 2, to then almost getting reverse sweep last match? It even left me speechless. I didn't even know what to say. That play with the evil wall breakers, evil Snowball was insane. And talking about evil wall breakers, both of them in game number 1 of the new best of 5. I repeat that it's a new best of 5. All of the cards are available. They can use whatever they want to. Of course, for game number 2, none of them can repeat the cards from game number 1, but the other best of 5 is history, guys. Like, it doesn't really matter what happened in the last best of 5. Let's see what they're gonna be using here. Pedro actually with a great Snowball, getting quite some chip damage here. Is Adriel, what is Adriel using here? It's like a minor cycle. Is this gonna be Balloon? No, he has wall breakers. I'm not sure what he's running, to be honest. Oh, that's a great usage of wall breakers by Pedro. Those wall breakers actually exploded right on top of Adriel's wall breakers, to where they also defended his offensive wall breakers. And guys, I don't know, like, this is a crazy serial monthly finals. Normally, we always see the people, like the person who came from the upper bracket win. Like, for example, Ian77, when he won his golden ticket, he came from the upper bracket, he won. I'm pretty sure Mohammed Light also did the same exact thing from the upper bracket. Like, I think this is the first time so far this year that someone came from the loser bracket and won the first best of 5. Now we have to find out and wait a little bit to see who's gonna win the next best of 5. But so far, Pedro's actually playing super well. And I'm telling you guys that he didn't lose a single match today. He came from the loser bracket and so far has done like an amazing run. And this matchup is also looking very good for Pedro. I'm not sure what the last card here is for Pedro. It could be like a rocket, it could be like a poison. But so far he hasn't really taken any damage. He is getting a lot of chip damage himself offensively with the wall breakers, with the Goblin Jill. Snowball also getting a lot of value, getting a lot of damage offensively thanks to it with the Goblin Jill. So a nice minor push though. Spirit Empress is still alive. Monk is also going to take care of the Goblin Hill. Spirit Empress almost gets a lock to the tower. And Adriel is holding on to a last card, which I honestly don't know what it's gonna be, guys. It's gonna be like a poison. What is Adriel's last card? I at first thought that he was gonna be running like a minor balloon deck, but with the wall breakers, it's definitely not gonna be a balloon. I wonder what it is though, because if it would be, for example, arrows, he would have used it. Oh, it's actually... Oh, it's a Goblin Curse. Okay. Goblin Curse, last card out of Adriel, which has definitely been a really popular spell today. Evil Zap, making sure that it is gonna try and stay alive. Fire Spirit is gonna take care of the Spirit Empress. And good pressure here from Adriel, or from Pedro. Okay, Adriel is gonna go with a Monk, maybe a defensive ability. There you go, nice ability. Clean defense. Adriel low-key, slowly but surely getting more and more chip damage himself. Well, not taking that much damage anymore like he was doing in single elixir. Okay, 1 minute 30 seconds left. He is gonna try and keep out the pressure. Nice. Goblin Curse offensively. Wallbreak is here. Should be able to get quite some value. Is he gonna get any damage out of it though? Looks like he's not gonna get much damage out of it. Pedro is gonna try and switch lanes. He's not liking going into the same lane. Is it too late to switch lanes though? I mean, I feel like it's kind of late in the match to try and switch lanes here. Not sure what you guys think about this decision from Pedro, but I feel like it's a little bit late in the match to switch lanes. But I mean, maybe it's gonna work out. Let's see how it works out for him. Looks like he's gonna get a lot of damage there with the Goblin Duel. He did took a lot of damage himself as well. Left side though, did he ignore wall breakers? I didn't even notice, but the left side tower right now is down to 1100 HP, and Adriel's looking very solid. Getting so much damage right now, and 41 seconds left in the match. I mean, unless he somehow gets a ton of damage with the Goblin Duel, I don't really see how Pedro is still gonna win this. But let's see what happens though, guys. Wallbreaker's great usage there defensively to instantly take care of those minions. He is gonna go with a miner, he's gonna go with a Zap. Cards defensively, Bomb Tower to block the Wallbreakers. In the meantime, the Spirit Empress plus the Goblin Curse is gonna get a lot of value. Look at the Zap as well. Wallbreakers are gonna get a double connection. Adriel is gonna take game number 1 of the second best of 5. Let's see what happens in the next match. Game number 2. Looks like we already missed a little bit, but that was not my problem, guys. That was actually production's fault. We missed a Mortar and Adriel with Evo, Inferno Dragon, Arrows, Goblin Cage, and Skeletons. Okay, what is this gonna be? I mean, Pedro for sure. Mortar bait. I would say Mortar is probably his favorite deck. He loves Mortar and he loves Cycle deck, so that is pretty much what we have been seeing all day from Pedro today. Of course, not always being like predictable when to use it. He has been switching it up, but most of the times we like, or he likes using Cycle and Mortar decks, and we have been seeing that a lot from him today. And Adriel seems to be actually using, I think this is gonna be, is this gonna be Lava Hound? Probably Lava Hound, right? If I would have to take a guess, last cards are probably gonna be Lava Hound, maybe Valkyrie Evolution, and maybe Lightning, if I would have to take a guess. I'm not sure, I guess we will find out. And Pedro could be anything, but most of the times this deck is used with the Skeleton King, and sometimes we see like a Cannon card or another pressure type of card as well. He still has the Spirit Empress, he still has many different options available to kind of combine the Mortar deck with. So, nice Dart Goblin here up high, sniping, and the minions also gonna help take care of the Goblin Cage. We might see something to even protect the Dart Goblin longer. No, looks like he's not gonna do anything, but he is gonna go with the Evil Mortar though. And Evil Mortar, what does he have available now, guys? He's gonna go with a Valkyrie. I told you guys he was gonna have Evil Valkyrie, and the Inferno Dragon here as well is gonna definitely get quite some value, but at the same time he also has a lot of different ways to kind of like chip it down fast. Like he has Spear Goblins, Goblin Gang, Dart Goblin, he has like a lot of range units. So I feel like in this specific matchup the Inferno Dragon Evolution might not be the best, but let's see what happens, guys. So far Pedro is able to get quite some damage, but not like insane amount of damage, and Adriel just trying to survive Cycle as much as possible. Knowing that he's using a Lava Hound deck, I feel like he's gonna try and find the perfect moment, the perfect timing for him to go in, and looks like so far Pedro is trying to kind of predict him to go with a Lava Hound, and Adriel playing super patiently, holding off to the Lava Hound. I would even say very nicely. Like if he makes a big mistake by going Lava Hound when he shouldn't go Lava Hound, he's just gonna lose the match instantly. Like, it's gonna be very rough for him to get a Lava Hound going. And even if he doesn't Lava Hound so far, it has been very rough for him to not take too much damage. He's gonna take a ton of damage there with the Mortar on the left side lane. Pedro is just insane at Mortar. Like, look at this pressure, guys. He's pressuring left, right, not allowing Adriel to breathe at all. It's gonna get defended with the Valkyrie Evolution, but the Mortar is still alive. Dart Goblin once again getting a lot of value. Evil Dart Goblin, Evil Valkyrie is gonna try and take care of the Skeleton King. The Dart Goblin gets aired away, and guys, I'm sorry if I'm misspeaking right now. I'm actually getting really tired. I've been streaming for 5 hours. Yesterday, I wasn't home because I was traveling. This is gonna be game over, guys. Adriel didn't even get to play his Lava Hound. Mortar is getting a connection. Pedro celebrates game number 2 victory there, and it's a 1-1 situation right now. Crazy. Okay, guys, game number 3, Pedro against Adriel, and man, this has to be one of the longest, but at the same time one of the craziest monthly finals we've had so far. As I said before, normally everyone coming from the upper bracket just beats the opponent coming from the loser bracket, and Pedro's actually putting up a great show, great fight so far during the entire day, but especially in the grand final, beating Adriel through to 3-1, and then so far he has 1-1, winning the last match. Okay, so Adriel using Goblin Duel right here. Pedro is using a Cycle deck. I think everyone can tell right now, but Pedro is a big fan and a really good Cycle player. Like, he is definitely known for his Cycle decks, known for his Cycle plays. And what? Okay, that was kind of a strange interaction. I think there was like a small delay, but he actually snowballed the Hawk Rider. Didn't quite activate the King Tower with the Boss Miner. What a nice Mighty Miner placement. Did you guys notice how he placed the Mighty Miner in a position where the Boss Bandit was not able to dash on top of it? Another time, Mighty Miner is gonna be a great counter against the Boss Bandit there. And it's interesting to see that he has both the Boss Bandit and the Berserker. Normally people either have Berserker or have the Boss Bandit. Now he actually has both of them, and seems like he doesn't have, or maybe he does, but I think he's not gonna have like Goblins, Guards, Skeletons or something like that. Okay, Goblin Joe defensively here against the Hawk Rider. Pedro definitely in a good spot so far. That Hawk Rider I think is not gonna get a connection. Nice Ice Spirit from Adriel is gonna catch the Firecracker, is not gonna allow him to get any tower damage. And so far Pedro is in a damage lead, but this is not even looking that bad for Adriel. Could have been much worse. Single Elixir is always kind of risky, always kind of tricky against Hawk Rider Cycle decks, because of course in Single Elixir especially is where you often do get out-cycled, especially if they have a quick cycle like Pedro does have right now in this match. So let's see if Adriel decides to go same lane. Yeah, I was about to say that. I think same lane here is not a bad decision from him, because this way he can always cycle the Boss Bandit same lane, he can go Bomber same lane. In general, same lane with Goblin Joe against Hawk Rider I think is not a bad play. We're probably gonna see a King Tower activation. There you go. Beautiful Ice Spirit is gonna activate the King Tower. That's gonna help out for sure on defense. And Adriel once again going in offensively with the Goblin Joe, with the Bomber. Are we gonna see a snowball? Looks like no snowball. Pedro is gonna lock on defense. Perfect defense right there. And he's gonna once again go offensively with the Hawk Rider. Note how the Teslas most of the times are being placed up high. That is mainly because Pedro does have the Earthquake. If you play the Tesla high enough, the Earthquake is not gonna hit the Tesla and also hit the tower. So most of the times I think we are gonna see this Tesla placement. The Hawk Rider is not gonna get a hit. Nice evil snowball. That is actually gonna allow the Goblins to stay alive, get quite some chip damage. And Adriel with that combination, with that interaction, is actually gonna take the damage lead right now. Nice evil Tesla. Not gonna allow the Boss Bandit to get any more damage. But look at the Goblin Joe go. Goblin Joe is getting so much chip damage, down to 1818 HP right now. Let's see if Adriel can keep it up like this, but all of a sudden he is in a big damage lead right now. Okay, so Pedro's gonna switch lanes, knows that same lane really is not that worth it for him. He is gonna get a nice Firecracker, but oh my god, what a nice reaction from Adriel. Beautiful reaction right there. Quickly goes with the Tesla at the bridge, quickly tries to avoid the Firecracker from getting a big hit. Is gonna go with a Bomber, is gonna go with a Snowball. Ice Spirit here as well. Note how he's always placing a troop off to the side. Bomber towards the middle, Ice Spirit to the side. Never allowing Pedro to get easy Firecracker connections, and that could definitely make the difference between a win and loss. And look at that, guys. Adriel is gonna take the right side tower. He is one win away from being the golden ticket winner. Can he do it though? Okay, guys, hopping into game number 4, second best of 5, and man, I don't even know what to say anymore. I'm getting tired. Hopefully you guys are still watching. If you guys are, big shout out to you. Thank you so much for the support. And let's see what they're gonna be playing here, guys. Is this gonna be Royal Giant against Royal Giant? I think it might be. Both players are running, I mean, Pedro didn't show Fisherman yet, but with Monk, there you go, there's the Royal Giant. It's very likely for it to be Royal Giant. And then interesting Fisherman placement here to pull off the Royal Giant, but it's not gonna pull towards both of the towers, so it's only gonna pull a little bit backwards, and then he goes with the Goblin Hut in the face of it. So Adriel with a kind of off meta, I would say, Royal Giant type of deck And then Pedro more with a meta, stronger cards. Evil Furnace, Monk, Electro Wizard. This is actually the deck we saw from Adriel before in the first best of 5, which he was running with, I think it was Heal Spirit and Lightning. Pedro has it with Electro Spirit. He does, I think, still have the Fireball available, so I'm not sure if he will run it with Fireball or what does he have to kind of, yeah, combine it with. Okay, looks like he's just gonna cycle the Furnace, let the Furnace be. Good thing for Adriel is that he actually has the Cannoneer Tower Troop. I feel like that is gonna help him quite a bit, because Cannoneer in general is always very nice to have against beatdown type of decks, so having it here against the Royal Giant is definitely gonna help him DPS it down a little bit quicker. And so far none of them have gotten a lot of damage. Actually, Adriel hasn't even played his Royal Giant yet, while Pedro is already going for his evil Royal Giant in the back. So Adriel seems to be playing this more defensively, while Pedro definitely has been playing this more offensively, cycling both of his evolutions. And we might even see the Evil Furnace. There you go. So I would say the Evil Furnace with the Evil Royal Giant here offensively. So Electro Spirit plus Fireball. What a nice timing for Adriel. I love the timing right there. On the Electro Spirit, right as the Fireball knocks forward the Furnace. He is gonna get the Electro Spirit to jump on top of all the spirits. Kill the Furnace there as well. And this is looking kind of scary for Adriel. I feel like his cycle in general is gonna be kind of awkward. It's gonna be hard for him to stop this push without taking any damage. Does he have another Goblin Hut? No, he doesn't. Instead, he's gonna let the Royal Giant be, and I'm not surprised if we would see, I was about to say, a push towards the right side, and looks like he is setting up for a push towards the right side. Evil Wizard is gonna go with a Royal Giant. Nice Fireball from Pedro. I don't know why I thought he had already used the Fireball, but of course it was in the first best of 5, so now he still did have it available. Guys, I think we're gonna go into a game number 5. I mean, this has to be the longest CRL monthly finals in the history of Clash Royale. Like, it has to be. Like, I think Pedro is gonna win right here. Not necessarily this specific push, because the Royal Giant isn't gonna take the tower. But the matchup seems to be very good for Pedro. Situation seems to be very good for Pedro. We're actually gonna go into a game number 5. I can't believe it. I mean, I don't really mind, but it's such a long final, such a long video as well. Royal Giant is gonna get a connection, is even gonna get a second connection, tower down to 534. And I think Adriel at this point knows it's over. He knows that there's not really much he can do to defend the pushes, especially the Monk. The quick cycle Pedro has doesn't even have like that quick of a cycle, but the way he's been pressuring and the way his deck can, yeah, just cycle offensively all the time with the Furnaces, with the Monk, is definitely helping him a lot. And that is gonna be, I think, good game. Even if the Royal Giant doesn't get a connection, which I think it for sure is gonna get a connection, he could have cycled Fireball. So, guys, game number 5, what is happening? This is actually gonna be the last match. Okay, guys, officially the last match. Now it doesn't matter if he wins, he loses, if Adriel wins, loses, Pedro wins, loses. I'm about to go crazy, guys. Longest final in the CRL history. This is it. This is the moment. Adriel against Pedro. Pedro seems to be using... What is this gonna be? I'm not even sure what it's gonna be. It's Bomber. It's a minor deck as well. Adriel has Furnace. He has Zeppi. It's definitely an interesting card so far. Out of Adriel on the top of your screen. While Pedro's deck, I'm not even sure what this is gonna be, guys. Nice Zep though is gonna take care of the Dark Goblin thanks to the Zep. And Adriel seems to have more of like a defensive type of deck, but it's interesting to me that he has a Dark Goblin there. And he has an Elixir Collector. Wow, guys. I mean, I'm telling you, it's a best of 5. It's a dual format. Pedro cannot use Poison. He cannot use Arrows, Earthquake, Fireball. Like, he didn't have any good spells realistically against the Elixir Collector. Maybe a spell you could consider decent would be, for example, Lightning. But even Lightning, in my opinion, is not the greatest answer here. What does Adriel have as a last card, though? He has a Goblin Barrel. What? Did he? I don't know. I feel like he kind of overcooked. I'm not sure if he's gonna be able to win, but his deck is kind of strange to me. I would have loved to see, for example, some recruits in there. If he would have had like recruits or something else, I feel like it would have been very nice for him. But then the fact that he has a Goblin Barrel, I feel like his deck is gonna miss some power. But let's see how it turns out, guys. Let's see what he's able to cook with this deck. Definitely a very strange variation. Not really sure what to think about this, to be honest. Okay, Goblin Gang is gonna go up high to distract the Spirit Empress. Goblin Barrel towards the right side. What is Pedro's last card, guys? I think it's gonna be a Goblin Curse. Could be wrong, but I think it definitely looks like some kind of Goblin Curse type of deck. And it wouldn't be Pedro if it's not gonna be some kind of Cycle deck. Like, he just loves his Cycle deck. So he's definitely gonna be in a nice spot to be in. Well, Adriel is using a really, in my opinion, strange looking Lockbait deck. I'm not sure what you guys think about this, but I don't know, it's kind of strange to me. Okay, he's gonna get quite some chip damage though. Let's see if he can defend the counter push. He's gonna get the Golden Knight, Berserker, and Spirit Empress coming his way. Zeppy's up high, Evil Furnace off to the side. He needs to be very careful with the Golden Knight here, guys. Golden Knight is probably gonna pop his ability. Looks like it doesn't. Spirit Empress is locked into the tower though, guys. Spirit Empress is getting so much damage, and Pedro might be going on an insane loser bracket run while also beating back-to-back Adriel in a best of 5. Like, that would just be crazy, guys. And I think he's about to do it. I think he's actually about to do it. Lock defensively, Furnace off to the side. And guys, I don't know what to say. What is this deck? Like, realistically, what did Adriel's coach just give him? Like, no hate or no disrespect to him, but this looks like such a strange deck. Like, I don't know. I feel like he could have given so many more different decks. Instead, he gave him Zeppy's. I don't know. I'm so confused, guys. Let's see what happens, though. 661 HP, unless Adriel somehow is able to cycle, is able to stack. Maybe he can somehow stack Furnaces. He just gave him so much. Goblin Curse value, though. The Goblin Gang is actually going to go down to the... Oh, no, it's not going to fully go down. Some of the Goblins do stay alive. Fire Spirit is also going to jump on the left side tower. Do you think Adriel still has a chance, guys? I mean, realistically, Pedro doesn't have a big spell. Adriel should maybe try to get an elixir collector going. Even though it's not going to help him that much, it's at least going to create some type of elixir. Golden Knight at the bridge here to block his Golden Knight. Definitely cannot go with a Goblin Gang, because that would just get instantly Goblin Curse plus Zap. And wait a second, guys. Wait a second. Maybe I should have trusted the process. Maybe I should have trusted the process, because this out of the sudden is actually looking very scary for Pedro. And Adriel's getting more and more chip damage, guys. 520 HP, only 6 HP difference right now. What is gonna happen, guys? What is actually gonna happen? Only 6 HP difference. 28 seconds left. This is gonna be insane, guys. This is actually gonna be insanely close. Golden Knight is gonna dash. Goblin Barrel gets one hit. Fire Spirit is gonna splash on top of the tower. And no way, guys. Is Pedro actually gonna lose this? Is Pedro actually gonna lose this? He cannot go with the Goblin Gang. If he goes Goblin Gang, that's just instantly gonna get Goblin cursed with the Zap. Oh my god. The barrel is not gonna get hit, guys. 5 seconds left. He needs to get a minor hit. He needs to get a minor hit. Minor gets predicted by the... No way. No way, no way, no way, no way. He got predicted by the Zeppies. Adriel wins by 44 HP. Going crazy right now. And Pedro was so close of doing the incredible lower bracket run and beating Adriel back to back. Adriel is gonna be our champion, our golden ticket winner. I don't know what to say. I honestly don't know what to say. Crazy video, crazy stream, crazy everything. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to smack the like button. If not subscribed to the channel yet, feel free to subscribe. And I hope to see you guys in one of my next videos. Take care, guys.